Hello, this is Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chiles, www.superhotchiles.com. As promised, we're going to show you some of the other stuff we grow besides chilies for the business. We will hopefully help you guys grow some more food. So what we have here is sweet potatoes. And we're growing 4 varieties. We're growing the Okinawan Purple, the Murasaki, which has got a Japanese name, but it's, I think, developed in Louisiana. The Covington, which is an American sweet potato, and the Beauregard. So when you grow sweet potatoes, you grow from slips. So basically, if you want to make your own slips, we'll do a video on that another time. You take a sweet potato and you put some toothpicks in it and you submerge the tip in water and it'll grow long green slips like these. It don't look that great, but you know what? Sweet potatoes kind of take off. So you can buy them online, and then when you get them, keep them in water till they're ready to use, and try to plant on a day that's just got average temperatures. Don't plant on a day where it's 95 degrees, full blazing sun. So there's only a few, it's kind of partly cloudy day. It's in the 70s here in Georgia, so we're going to plant. Now, you can see there's roots here in this cup. These are the Covington. We already planted some of those. Now, we got these big pots from Tractor Supply. I think they're like 25-gallon pots. They're about $20, $21.50 each. Now, the way you do sweet potatoes, and I'm learning this, and there's a lot of videos online, but I figure I'll put it on my channel too. You know, you want to put about maybe 6 to 10 inches of soil in the bottom of your pot, and you can even grow in a 5-gallon pot, but you can only use 1 plant. And what you want to do is, you want to plant the slips, and then as they grow up, add more soil, and then they grow up more, add more soil. So as tall as they get, keep surrounding the stem structure with soil, because that'll grow out more roots and produce more sweet potatoes. But you start off in this method in a pot with them in the bottom, and then as they grow up, you keep adding soil, and then adding soil, and then adding soil, then adding soil till you get to the tippy top. Okay? Takes about 90 days for maturity. What a lot of people do, especially in colder climates, is they wait to just before the first frost or when all the vines are dead, and then they dig them up. So we'll walk you through this process. There's also a curing process to cure them so you can store them long term. Because if you're going to grow like 50 pounds of sweet potatoes or whatever, you're probably, going to want to keep them for a few months, 3 to 6 months. At least till the spring, so you have a supply of sweet potatoes. And with the price of sweet potatoes and potatoes almost doubling from 2021 till now, might be a good idea to grow them. And you can keep producing them year after year once you get your first crop going. So over here, we have the finished product of the original planting, but let me show you the steps I took. So I dug some grooves because I'm going to lay down as much of the stem as possible in these grooves you see right here. And this is a mushroom compost, and I put about a half a bag of ocean forest in the bottom with extra perlite so it drains well, because they like well-drained soil. You could add sand if you want, sand, perlite, whatever. You don't want to just go with topsoil because it'll turn into mud, so you're going to have to add perlite, sand, or whatever, or pieces of wood chips. Make sure they're wood chips that haven't been treated so your stuff drains. We drilled a whole bunch of holes in these pots. We probably drilled about 12 holes on the direct bottom, and then we drilled some holes here on the sides because we want drainage. Okay, so good drainage is key. And another benefit to growing the sweet potatoes in pots is that when the season's over, you can just dump them over and pull out all the sweet potatoes. But if the soil's soft enough, you can just dig them out by hand. Don't dig out with a shovel or a pitchfork because you'll break them. You don't want to do that. Okay, so we're going to put 3 plants per pot. So after we did our grooves, our little grooves that we're going to lay down the stem in, and keep in mind these are root vegetables, we put inside each groove or hole some cinnamon. Cinnamon's a rooting hormone, so it helps with rooting. And we put some mycorrhiza, extreme gardening granular mycorrhiza, because that helps with root development. Okay? Then after that, we take the slip. They're called slips. And we kind of like lay them down, you see? We just kind of lay them down and just have a little bit of the plant poking up, and we'll cover it really good. Now, after we're done with that, we're going to put some granular organic fertilizer around here. Because keep in mind, all this area under here is going to be underground. This is going to be all roots when these plants grow up. So we already put some organic granular. Another good thing about growing sweet potatoes or potatoes is if you want to get really, really good root growth, because it's a rooting vegetable, right? And you want bigger sweet potatoes, you get a fertilizer that's it's called triple phosphate, tie and phosphorus. And you feed it that, like maybe once or twice a month throughout the growing season, and you'll get bigger sweet potatoes because they're roots, and triple phosphate is great for roots. We'll do a video talking about triple phosphate in the future. So in this pot over here, we have Yukon Gold potatoes, and we're doing 2 layers of potatoes. You can do layers of potatoes if you have a big pot. So we went about 6 inches of soil, and we took the potatoes with the little spud buds facing up, and then we covered it with about 6 to 8 inches of soil. And then when we get some more spuds spudding up from the potatoes, some growths, we'll put them in this soil pointing up, and then we'll cover the rest of the pot. So we'll actually have 6 total potatoes growing in here. And here's some sweet potatoes, and I put the perlite in these after the mixed the perlite in. You can see all the perlite. These are the Okinawan purples, and they're still going, so they didn't die when we had a lot of heat the other day. So I'm going to put some of that granular fertilizer in on these because I didn't have it out that day and it was getting ready to rain. But so we're going to grow sweet potato. We're going to grow 4 kinds of potatoes, or 3 kinds of potatoes, and 4 kinds of sweet potatoes. We're going to grow sweet potatoes and a few other methods as well, because we have so many plants. We just went a little bit silly online and ordered too many plants. So it's real easy. You just got to keep them well watered in the beginning. Again, if you use a good granular fertilizer from the start, get that mixed into the soil, something that's organic, that'll break down over time. You could use rabbit manure too. And then as they start growing up, feed them the triple phosphate, because they don't like too much nitrogen, maybe in the beginning, but later on they like that triple phosphate, that phosphorus. And that'll give you more roots, which means more sweet potatoes and bigger sweet potatoes. Okay, so you're going to be with me on this journey. As the plants grow, we'll show you the next stage and the next stage and the next stage. You don't have to go buy these pots for $21.50. You can grow in 15-gallon containers, 10-gallon containers, 5-gallon containers. You just use less. You can buy milk crates. You can just buy the plastic milk crates, and you could plant 1 or 2 slips in there, and maybe put a little bit of hay in the bottom so it drains out. You could do that. There's methods where you can just put down about 6 inches of soil anywhere in your yard, as long as you don't have dogs or cats that'll dig it up. And you could put down the soil, water it really good, put the slips down, and then cover it with hay and water the hay and just let them grow wild. Let the vines, the root vines grow wild through the hay. We might do that too as well with our potatoes too. So this is Jim Duffy of Refining Fire Chiles. We're going to just show you what else we're growing this year in our garden, not just chilies. And hopefully it will help some of you and give you some guidance. And like I said, there's lots of videos online, but I'm hoping you'll subscribe to our channel and follow us on our journey, because as we learn, we'll share the information. This is Jim Duffy, www.superhotchilies.com. Bye-bye.